everybody, time for another shave, and today I am going to be doing my last shave with this vintage Schick Injector razor. I've done another video with this, and this was on loan from Jim, one of our buddies in the Shave the Man group and our Arizona Shavers group, and he loaned it to me, and I've had it for quite a while, so I do want to give it back. Well, I don't want to give it back, but I know that's the right thing to do. So I just wanted to do a final video and kind of talk about my experience with the Schick Injector, because this was my first time ever using one, and you know, it's definitely different. So I'll talk about that. Today my brush is going to be the Simpson's Chubby 2 in Best Badger, and my soap, it's in a salsa bowl. This is Sterling Barbershop, so I'll pour that Bloom water back in there and squeeze the water out of that knot. So I've used the Schick Injector. I think it had about 3 blades in there, maybe 4 blades, and I used it, you know, once, and then I used it on camera for my second shave, and then I've used it off camera a few times. And so since this is going to be my last one, I wanted to kind of finish off. And I have really enjoyed it. Like I said, it is different, but you know, not so incredibly different that there's like a new learning curve with it. If you are experienced in shaving with a double-edged razor, you would be fine with this. My goodness, the lather. You would be totally fine using this. And even if you are new to wet shaving, and you know, maybe you had a family heirloom that's a Schick Injector, or you found one at a yard sale cheap, look at that, you'd be fine using it, I think. So what I found, at least with this particular injector, is that it is extremely mild. It's extremely easy to use. There's just comfortable, and I can't say that there was really one thing I didn't like about it. It just, from the first time I used it, it was just great. I didn't really know what to expect. I had heard some other people say that they were mild shavers, and you know, they were right, but it wasn't too mild. It wasn't so mild that I found that it had a hard time giving me a good shave. I could do a 2-pass shave with it and be just fine with that. I could do a 3-pass shave with it and enjoy it. And if for some reason I was in a huge hurry and only had time for a 1-pass shave, I suppose that would be fine too. As you can see, this lather is just crazy. I loaded up a lot of soap, and this, whoa, yikes, making an absolute mess. This brush just holds an insane amount of lather. So, okay, clean that up. I've got lather all over my shirt. It's like I'm Chris Bailey or something. Okay, so now one thing that was a little different, not necessarily my preference, is the length of handle. I know that there are different types of Schick Injectors, and some of them have different handle lengths. And this one, even though it's longer than I would typically like, I didn't have any problems with it. I just grip it up a little bit higher. The weight of it, extremely light, and that's fine. I like lightweight razors. I feel like with a heavy razor, they tend to be efficient, but also a little bit more aggressive. And I like mild razors, so you know, once again, that's a huge plus for me. The size of the head isn't hard at all to, you know, find an angle. As you can see, I'm trying to maneuver it around a little soul patch here and the mustache. No problems whatsoever. Nice and easy. Absolutely no problems there. Okay, I'm going to finish up this first pass and then I'll continue on. Okay, so first pass down, everything I could want in a first pass. Obviously the soap is just fine, but the razor, even though it's mild, it clears through the bulk with absolutely no problems whatsoever. Now one area that is a little different for me, and I know it's just because I haven't used this razor a whole lot. Like I said, I only had like 3 or 4 blades. Is on the neck area, or I suppose any area where your beard growth kind of has a weird direction, like a weird grain growth. And so what I mean by that is, you know, for example, on my cheeks, the hair is growing kind of like down that way, and same thing that way. And then on my neck, it grows down here, and then kind of down that way, but then up that way. And so when I'm having to turn this razor upside down and apply the angle to it, you know, upside down, it's just a little bit of a challenge. You know, not too big of a deal at all. Like I said, if I use this razor, you know, more, I would be just fine. But that, I mean, I guess could be a complaint if I had to find one. Now, as far as the blades go, that was where I was real skeptical about these injector razors, because when I looked for the blades, you know, it's not like a double-edged blade where there's hundreds of different brands, and I could go on Amazon and just order so many, or go to any of our wet shaving retailers, you know, online stores, and get, you know, just tons, or try a blade and get a ton there. When looking on Amazon, I saw Schick brand injector blades, and then I saw some Personas, and that's it. So, you know, I've tried lots of double-edged blades that just didn't work for my skin at all. Either, you know, they were just not sharp enough because I have really coarse beard growth, you know, or they just didn't work out for whatever reason. And so my fear was that if I tried a Schick brand blade and didn't like it, I'm almost out of luck. And then if I try the Persona ones and didn't like it, I'm for sure out of luck. And this just is not an option for me. But thankfully that wasn't the case. This Schick blade works great for me. Now I'm not sure if these are still in production. They come out of a little magazine like that. Or if these are vintage. But they work great. I have no problems with them. No irritation at all. However, being somebody who's always trying to be cost conscious and stuff, when I look at the price of them, it seemed like they came out to almost $1 a blade. Now I did look on eBay and saw that you could, some places had them where you could buy them in big bulk and get them cheaper, but they still were quite a bit more expensive than double-edged blades, you know, like my Astra blades, which cost between 9 and 10 cents a piece, and even my feathers, which when I buy in bulk cost about 25 cents. And so the cost on them was just a lot more. And that was combated by, or helped by, people telling me, well, you're going to get a lot more shaves out of these blades, and so that will kind of offset, because I only get 2 with any DE blade, whether it be Feather, Astra, or, you know, any of the others I've tried. And so, you know, that was a huge plus for me. But after trying it, unfortunately, the third shave was uncomfortable. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't get 6 or 7 shaves out of them and make this a killer value. But it just means that I didn't. And, you know, that could be because I have extremely coarse beard growth, or who knows what. But unfortunately, and I tried it with every blade in the pack just in case one was a dud. And unfortunately, I still only got 2 comfortable shaves out of a blade. Now, I could go 3 and be okay. It just wasn't that comfortable. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to risk irritation, because if I do get irritation on my neck or something, I'm going to pay for it. So, for example, I've got a little spot here, like a little pimple type thing, and that's why I'm shaving around it. It's just, that stuff hangs around for a long time, so it's not worth it to me. So, the main point is that when looking at the blade cost, it's just, to me, not appealing. Now, like I said, I've really enjoyed the shaves I've gotten from these, but to me, it wasn't so much better that I want to spend, you know, upwards of $1 a blade, or, you know, 50 cents a shave, when my shave could be 5 cents, or it could be, you know, even with a feather, less than 15 cents. So that's just my opinion. There are some people who, you know, it's not really a big deal that we're spending so much money on soaps and other stuff that, you know, you just don't really care. But that's fine. That's just, you know, if that's not a big deal to you, or you're a person who gets a lot of shaves out of them, then the blade issue will not matter. Okay, so I'm going to do a third pass, and it was close, but just not quite as close as I wanted. As you can see, this brush is still holding a ton of lather, but it tends to hog it also. Alright, so third pass, here we go. Yikes, my hands are pretty slick. I did find that going against the grain, I know I said like when I had to maneuver it and stuff, not too bad. A little bit tricky your very first time, but once you figure it out, it's fine. Buffing with it, not a problem, as long as you've got, you know, a good slick soap or cream going, no problem at all. Okay, so third pass done. Really nice shave. One other thing I wanted to mention, no problems clogging at all. That was one worry I had, that this razor would clog up a lot because there's only a very little space down there in between the blade and the safety bar. No problem at all. So face feels really nice, as that Sterling soap has some of the best post-shave feel of anything. Terrific. So I'm going to finish off with some Thayer's Unscented Witch Hazel. So who is the Schick Injector for? Well, I would say it's for everybody. Now, would I go on eBay and shell out big bucks for one of these things? No. It is not going to replace, any of my vintage Gillettes or anything. Not because it's not as good, it's just not anything, better. But it is good. So if it's for everyone. If you find one of these at an antique store or a yard sale or something, buy it. Especially if it's at a good price. Then you just buy some blades and try it out, and you'll just get to see how cool they are. So maybe the double-edged razor scares you a little bit, and you want to try something else. Maybe this would be for you. Especially if you already have one or have access to somebody to let you borrow one. Or just somebody who wants to try something different than a double-edged razor. I don't know, I've really enjoyed it. So once again, guys, I hope this gave you some sort of insight into a Schick Injector if you've ever been interested in one. If you have any other questions, something I failed to mention, just go ahead and leave a comment below. I try to get back to every single one as best I can. And once again, thank you so much, Jim, for letting me borrow this. I really do appreciate it. I'd always wanted to try one, and I just couldn't shell out the money to buy one. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And we will see you next time with another shave video. Bye.